Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is my second week of practicing. If you missed the last lesson, I would highly recommend you guys check it out, especially if you have been struggling with longer irons. A main focus of this session will be me working with my 5-iron, but I always start off with getting a bit loose. I do have my alignment sticks down, so that way I can standardize my ball position and just making sure that everything is in the right place. I want to make sure that my setup is good and standardized, so that way I know when I'm working on something, I can try to isolate the problem more easily. So I always do try to warm up without any of my training aids first, just so I can get loose and feel a bit more free. So I'm starting off with some pitching wedge shots, just trying to feel a smooth swing. So then moving on to the next phase of the practice, it's when I start to introduce the training aids. And one that you've seen in the past is the ball. So I've been using this because I want to work on my arm position at the top. I want to feel more connected and not have my arms so far behind me. If my arms get stuck behind me, that can cause me to swing a bit more from the inside and the club will hit the ground first, which can lead to some heel strikes. I can occasionally hit some decent shots with the ball, but most of my shots in this session are either shanks or thin shots. Now there is a bit of a delay in when I'm uploading these videos and when they are actually shot. So now I can say I'm making some better contact even with the ball. So I wasn't too sure if it was just in that moment, I was just thinking too much into having the ball there and it messed up my swing, or if I just generally got better. But I soon take away the ball and I try to imitate that feeling of having that ball there. And I am able to make some better contact, so I guess I'm able to feel a bit more free and it allows me to get into some better positions. But that is all just while imagining that I do have the ball in between my arms still. And overall, I'm very happy with the progress that I have made with my 8-iron. Now, obviously my swing is not perfect, but I feel like I'm making some good steps in the right direction. With that being said, I don't want to spend a lot of time with my 8-iron just because I feel like I am able to hit it more or less pretty well. I do want to move up to the 5-iron and challenge myself just because with the 5-iron, I have traditionally struggled with this club. And if I can tackle that, that'll give me a lot more confidence when I'm practicing, when I'm in my lessons, when I'm playing. And just psychologically, if I can master the 5-iron, I'll have a lot more confidence with my mid-irons and my wedges just because they are easier clubs to handle than those longer irons. And if you would have saw my previous video titled "Why I Am Not a Scratch Golfer," I talked about some of the reasons why that I have been progressing so slowly. Now, obviously, one of the reasons was, I didn't have the best of coach. So I've already checked that off by now working with Tim. But another reason was because when I was practicing, I only practiced things that I was good at. So I never really challenged myself. I never put myself in uncomfortable situations. So there was really no progress and me improving. So there was always going to be a hole in my game because I kind of avoided it. So now I want to tackle it head on, something that I struggled with, the 5-iron. I want to embrace that. And actually, I am really liking hitting the 5-iron when I get a hold of one, when I flush it and I hit a nice high fade. It feels very satisfying and it makes me want to come back to that club again. And I do think that if I can master my longer irons and I'll be able to count on them, I won't need to worry about swinging as hard with a mid-iron, because before I used to just really want to swing super hard with my 7-iron because that was one of my most confident irons in my bag. I had no trust in the 5-iron. I would thin it, get some bad contact, and I could really muscle up a 7-iron and it would go farther than my 5-iron. So in my head before, there was no reason why I would pick up my 5-iron. But, as I start to get better with the 5-iron, then that will gradually shift from, if I have 190 yards, I'm not going to be hitting my 7-iron. I'm just going to be picking up my 5-iron and have a nice smooth swing. So I have definitely improved with my 5-iron, but there is a lot that I can still improve on. I do need to work on my tempo and my balance. My swing does not look like it's flowy and effortless. It does look like I am putting in a lot of effort to get my swing going. And, when I do hit a few good ones, I can still get a bit excited and rush my next shot, which does lead to some poor contact. I just need to remind myself that I'm capable of hitting good shots. I don't need to do anything different. I just have to trust my swing. And I think that will just come with more repetition with my 5-iron. And so my goal with my 5-iron is to hit fades, just because that is the easiest way to get the ball in the air and have a better descent angle. And so far, I do think I am doing a good job of accomplishing what I set out towards. So I am still guilty of swinging out of my shoes, and you can definitely tell that my sequencing is off, and a cue of that is, when my hat pops off. So after overswinging, I do want to go down to a 7-iron just so I can feel something a little bit easier. And I'm trying to get a smoother tempo. So just hit a few shots with the 7-iron, just nice and relaxed. Because in my head, I still think that the 7-iron is a more or less pretty easy club. So I don't feel like I have to muscle it up to get some good results. Except that does not really go as planned. As soon as I see that I can hit the ball pretty good, I want to keep swinging even harder. I want to get better results. I want to see a ball going even farther. And I think that's just something I have to remind myself, that swinging softer but hitting the middle of the face can lead to better results than swinging faster but miss hitting it. So overall, my range session was going pretty good. I thought, what the heck, let's try and hit driver. Now, this is my first time trying driver since I have started taking lessons with Tim, and there's a lot of feelings that I go through as far as different checkpoints that I have been working on with my irons, which might not necessarily translate the best with the driver. And as you can see, my driver is not going that well. And at the time, I was not sure why. But as I said before, there is actually a couple of different things that you need to do with the driver than what I have been doing with my irons. And some of those concepts, they will come in my 3rd lesson, but my driver is more specifically worked on in my 4th lesson. So be on the lookout for that. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the lessons and practice sessions so far. Do you guys like the format of them? For the lessons, I do like to keep them a bit more raw and uncut, just so that way you can get a better feel of what I'm going through. And if you've never had a lesson before, then you can kind of get a better feel for what actually goes down. For the range sessions though, I do try to edit it a bit, just so that way it is a bit more concise and structured. And maybe you guys don't fall asleep from me just rehearsing my swing over and over and over again before I actually hit the ball. But yeah, I'd be curious how you like this so far. Is there certain things that you want me to document? I'm all open. I'm just trying to best document my journey along the way. And so I'm happy to hear some feedback of what you guys like as viewers. And in these particular clips, I have been talking with a voiceover. Now, sometimes it's a bit loud, so I do opt for the voiceover. But this time my audio just did not record, so I have to do this voiceover. But in the next clips, it's me live talking. So I'm also just wondering, do you guys prefer the voiceover of me recapping my events, or do you like to hear me in the moment, my thought process, and just having that a bit more uncut? So let me know as well too. But then yeah, we'll move on to the second session, which is me going through my thoughts. All right, this time we have a bit more time at the range. Can be a bit more deliberate with the practice. We're gonna work on alignment again. So I have the sticks down. I'm just gonna do a couple little chips. And I'm gonna use my rangefinder. 20. All right, it's kind of hard to see a lot of the balls, but what I did was I zapped just the start of that hill, 20 yards. So we're gonna try some 20-yard chips. Get the feel for that, visualize it. Just looking to get it nice and soft. Like Tim was saying, don't want high smash factor. Okay, we're gonna warm up this ball again. I forgot to inflate it again, but oh well. Start off easy with some pitching wedge. When I was watching Tim swing at the ball, he was able to even have it stick to him through the follow through, so I guess that's something I should aspire to, not even let it fall between. I think that's a bit better. Okay, let's try that, put a ball in. A lot better. Normally I've been shanking it when I get the ball in, but right off the rip, that was pretty satisfying. Two in a row. There's the shank. Just try a couple full swings now without the ball. We have that feel ingrained. My face was probably just a little close to path. That's why I just pulled left. Okay. Let's move up to 8 iron now. My goal is to keep working in the 5. I want to work at the hardest club that I have. So that way when I go for my lesson tomorrow, should be all ready for that. Feeling a lot more stable. I definitely felt I was too close to that ball. But that was one of the things Tim was saying, not to have too much of a gap. So let me try and have the club more upright. Off the heel again. Maybe I'll stand back a tiny bit. I don't want to extend my leg too. I want to still keep some flex. There we go. That felt a little more athletic. Yeah. Last range session, I was in the 5 really good. I was actually really happy. We're going to try something similar. Ball slightly in front of center. Swing left. Face open. Don't do anything special. Fell a bit forward there. There we go. That one I felt more upright, so let me try again with that same feeling. Yeah, it's like that, and then I think a little shift forward. Thin. Okay. I think that's a bit quick. There we go. That one I was just feeling tight, 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 unwind. Tight, 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 unwind. Tight, 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 unwind. There we go. I do feel like I'm over swinging a bit. I'm not sure. I'll have to watch back the tapes I want to make sure I'm feeling connected. Okay, that feeling I have with the ball is someone just goes like this and then raise it up. I feel like I don't have to do anything around my body. Let's try. Raise. I feel like that was a better follow through. When I don't think about swinging over my body, it makes the contact a lot simpler. If all I have to do is think about going there, I can accelerate faster here, stop it here. Don't need to keep going. And I'm sure the feel is I'm stopping here, but it's probably gonna end up there. But feel versus real, probably, right? That one I felt a little quick on. I think I got a little too excited. I'm gonna watch that one back after. That feeling was I just swung more out instead of coming around. So let's try and aim to that blue divider thing, whatever it is. I'm just gonna try my 2-iron for fun. This just feels a lot more stiff. Pretty good, honestly. Let's try it again. Swing it to the left, face open. I'm making a lot better contact with the 2-iron now. Better strike. Maybe I have to have it a bit more in front. After the 2-iron, this feels like a 7 or 8.
So that'll conclude my second week of practice. I have never hit my longer irons this good. And if you guys have struggled hitting your longer irons as well, I would definitely check out this week's lesson, because before this, my 5-iron seriously struggled. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed this journey so far, and it's only just the beginning. So I want to thank you guys for making it to the end of this video. And like always, I hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching. Peace.